My dear friends, I'm Dr. David. For over 30 years, I've sat across from thousands of people who were once strong, proud of their endurance and vitality. And then one day they sit in front of me, eyes filled with concern, asking, "Doctor, why am I gaining weight even though I eat less? Why do my legs feel weaker? And why don't I feel as strong as I used to?" If you've ever asked yourself those same questions, I want you to know you are not alone. After 50, the body begins to change in ways few people notice. Metabolism slows down, muscles lose strength, and fat, especially belly fat, starts to build up quietly. We don't realize it until our favorite pants suddenly feel tight, or we find ourselves out of breath after just a few steps. I remember one of my patients, Robert, 62 years old. He used to be an engineer, loved sports, and ran every morning. But years of office work, late dinners, short nights, and his weight crept up little by little. He said, "Doctor, I'm not eating more than before, but my body just doesn't burn energy the same way." That's what I want to talk to you about today. Being overweight isn't just about food, it's about an inner imbalance. When we're young, the body is like a perfectly oiled machine. Eat, burn, recover, rebuild. But after 50, that machine begins to slow down. Hormones shift, muscles decline, and insulin, the key to controlling blood sugar, doesn't work as efficiently as before. As a result, extra energy turns into fat. Fat leads to inflammation, harming the liver, the heart, the joints, even the brain. Many people think losing weight means starving. But no, health isn't about sacrifice, it's about understanding and respecting your body. That's why I want to share with you a method I've seen work wonders for many older patients: intermittent fasting. Not to starve you, but to give your body rest, to let your metabolism wake up again and start burning fat naturally. It's not magic, it's a return to nature, eating less, eating at the right time, and allowing your body to heal itself. And today I want to walk that journey with you, slowly, scientifically, but full of hope. Because sometimes the greatest miracle doesn't come from a pill. It comes from how we live, how we eat, and how we love our own bodies. My dear friends, when people think about being overweight, they often think about appearance. Tight clothes, a heavier body, a few extra pounds beyond the ideal number. But as a doctor, I see something far more important. Being overweight is an internal change, one that affects every heartbeat. I once met a patient named Linda, 58 years old, a kind and gentle teacher for over 30 years. When she came to me, she said softly, "Doctor, I just want to lose a few pounds. I'm tired walking up the stairs, and every morning I wake up feeling like I carry the whole world on my shoulders." We ran some tests, and what we found wasn't just about weight. Her blood pressure was high, her blood sugar unstable, and her liver showed early signs of fat accumulation. That made me sad because Linda wasn't careless. She was just living like so many others at her age, teaching, caring, worrying, and forgetting herself. You see, when the body stores fat, especially visceral fat around the belly, it doesn't just sit there. It releases inflammatory chemicals that damage blood vessels, affect the heart, the liver, even the brain. Belly fat is like a tiny chemical factory, silently triggering reactions that make the body weaker. And then comes the dangerous domino effect. Overweight, chronic inflammation, insulin resistance, diabetes, heart disease, memory decline. That's why studies in the US show that people who are overweight at 50 have twice the risk of heart disease and may lose 6 to 8 years of life expectancy. But I don't share this to scare you. I share it to remind you of your incredible power. Your body has an amazing ability to heal if you give it the chance. Losing just 5% of your body weight can stabilize blood pressure, reduce liver fat, and improve sleep quality. I've seen older patients regain vitality after just a few months of small changes. A slow morning walk, skipping one late-night meal, or simply learning to stop eating when they're no longer hungry. These small steps reopen the doors to longevity and joy. Being overweight doesn't just take away your shape, it takes away time. But trust me, you can get it back one gentle step at a time with understanding, patience, and self-love. My dear friends, if you've ever eaten less and exercised more yet, your weight wouldn't budge. The problem isn't your willpower. Overweight isn't just eating too much and moving too little. It begins deep within in how your metabolism, hormones, and emotions work together. I remember a patient named Thomas, 64. He said, "Doctor, I eat the same way I did at 40, but now my body just keeps getting bigger." I smiled because I've heard that hundreds of times, and he was right. After 50, the body changes how it uses energy. Muscle, the body's main furnace, slowly shrinks. A pound of muscle burns more calories than a pound of fat, even at rest. So when muscle decreases, the body naturally becomes more energy efficient, burning fewer calories even if you eat the same. Hormones also play a major role. In women, estrogen drops after menopause, speeding up fat storage, especially around the belly. In men, testosterone decreases, leading to muscle loss and fat gain. These quiet shifts are enough to throw off the balance we once had. And then there's something most people overlook: stress. When we're under pressure, the body releases cortisol, a hormone that tells your body to hold on to energy in case of danger. In other words, the more you worry, the more your body tries to protect you by storing fat. That's why so many people gain weight without eating more. Not because they're weak, but because their bodies are trying to keep them safe. I once asked a patient, "When was the last time you truly felt relaxed?" She paused for a long time, then whispered, "Maybe before I retired." Her answer broke my heart, because sometimes being overweight doesn't start in the stomach, it starts in the mind. My friends, when we understand the root cause, we stop blaming ourselves. We begin to care for our bodies with compassion, eating slower, sleeping deeper, giving ourselves time to recover. Being overweight isn't your fault. It's a sign your body has been working too hard for too long. Now it's time to let it rest, to heal, and to be listened to with patience, with understanding, and with love. My dear friends, when I mention intermittent fasting, many people laugh and say, "Doctor, if I skip a meal, I'll faint." But when they try it, they realize it's not about starving, it's about letting the body rest. Our bodies are incredibly intelligent. For millions of years, humans lived in a natural rhythm of eat, don't eat, eat again. Not because they wanted to lose weight, but because nature taught them balance. The body knows when to store energy and when to use it. But in today's world, we eat constantly: breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, late night meals. Before the body finishes burning the last meal, we feed it again. And what happens? Our metabolic clock breaks. The body forgets how to burn fat, how to rest, and how to heal itself. Intermittent fasting is a way to reset that clock. You don't have to count calories or punish yourself. Just eat at the right time and give your body space to do its job. I remember a patient named Susan, 61 years old. She had tried every diet, low-carb, detox, calorie restriction, gym workouts. Nothing worked. When I suggested the 16-8 method, eating within 8 hours, fasting for 16, she said, "Doctor, I don't think I can do that." But she started slowly, eating breakfast later and finishing dinner earlier. 2 weeks passed. Not only did she not feel weak, she felt clearer, lighter, and slept better. Her body shifted from burning sugar to burning fat. That's when the metabolic clock came alive again. When we pause eating insulin, the hormone that stores fat goes down. When insulin drops, the body says, "Now let's use fat for energy." And the fat-burning process begins. No drugs, no magic, just your body returning to its natural rhythm. I often tell my patients, intermittent fasting isn't about hunger. It's about giving your body time to clean house. During that rest, your cells repair themselves, remove toxins, and your organs, liver, heart, and brain work more efficiently. That's why research shows that people who fast properly not only lose weight, but also lower their risk of diabetes, heart disease, and chronic inflammation. My dear friends, your body doesn't need miracles to heal. It just needs you to stop interfering. Let it rest, let it breathe, let it be a little hungry, and you'll see within that quiet space, the body begins to renew itself. My dear friends, after I talk about intermittent fasting, people often ask, "Doctor, how do I start? Should I skip breakfast or fast all day?" The truth is, there's no single formula for everyone. Every body, every age, every habit is different. But there are two common methods that work well for people over 50. The first is called 5-2. You eat normally 5 days a week. And for 2 non-consecutive days, you eat lightly, about 500, 600 calories. I often suggest Monday and Thursday. On those days, have light meals like vegetable soup, steamed fish, or some yogurt with fruit. The key isn't to make your body suffer, it's to give it a day off. For those over 50, 5-2 works beautifully because it's flexible. You can still enjoy meals with your family, only cutting back twice a week. The second method, 16-8, is gentle yet powerful. You eat within an 8-hour window and fast for the remaining 16. It sounds long, but think about it. If you finish dinner at 7 p.m. and have your first meal at 11 a.m. the next day, you've already fasted for 16 hours without even noticing. You can still drink water, tea, or black coffee, stay alert and hydrated, while your body quietly switches into fat-burning mode. I remember a 70-year-old man named John. He said, "Doctor, I can't fast. I need breakfast to wake up." I smiled and said, "Then don't skip it. Just delay it by 30 minutes each day." 2 weeks later, he came back smiling. "I can't believe how easily my body adapted. I eat less and feel stronger." The beauty of intermittent fasting is that it doesn't demand perfection. If you eat a little earlier or later, that's okay. Consistency matters more than perfection. The body loves rhythm, and once you repeat a steady pattern, it understands what you're trying to do. Fasting isn't a race, it's a journey of listening to your body. Start slow, adjust gently. And remember, every meal is not just food, it's a message to your body. Today I choose health. My dear friends, now that we've talked about when to eat, let's talk about what to eat. Many people ask, doctor, if I only eat for 8 hours a day, what should I eat to feel full and stay healthy? I always smile and say, eat as if you're thanking your body. When you enter your eating window, your body is like a machine coming back online after rest. It needs good fuel, not just to fill your stomach, but to nourish your cells, heart, brain, and energy. I often remind my patients, eat what nature made, not what the factory made. That means choosing whole foods that stay close to their original form. Leafy greens, fruits, whole grains, nuts, fish, lean meat, and healthy oils. I remember a patient named Margaret, 67. She practiced fasting faithfully, but came back after a few weeks saying, "Doctor, I don't feel better. I feel tired and dizzy." When I looked at her diet, I realized she was eating only low-calorie cookies and boxed juice. I said, "Margaret, you've given your body rest, but you forgot to feed it real food when it woke up." We don't just need to eat less, we need to eat better. Imagine you have two types of fuel. One is cheap and smoky, the other is clean and pure. Your body works the same way. When you eat greens, fatty fish, and fresh fruits, your system runs smoothly with less inflammation and fatigue. But when you eat refined sugar-fried oils and processed food, your body struggles like an engine clogged with smoke. The best foods for people practicing intermittent fasting include leafy greens, spinach, broccoli, kale boosts circulation and nitric oxide. Whole grains, oats, brown rice, rye bread provides steady lasting energy. Clean proteins, salmon, skinless chicken, lentils, tofu, boiled eggs nourish muscles and keep you full longer. Healthy fats, olive oil, avocado, chia, seeds, walnuts protect the heart and reduce inflammation. Fresh fruits, especially berries like blueberries and raspberries, fight oxidation and slow aging. And there's one principle I love. Every meal is an opportunity to heal, not a punishment. Eat slowly. Smell the aroma, feel the taste, and be grateful your body is still working each day. After 50, we don't need to eat more. We need to eat more meaningfully. Because food doesn't just feed the body, it feeds the soul and keeps alive the hope of a long, strong, and peaceful life. My dear friends, when I talk about foods to avoid, many people say, "Doctor, I know, but I just love those foods too much." And I understand, because food is not just nutrition, it's memory, joy, and comfort. A cup of coffee with a pastry in the morning, a bowl of instant noodles at night, or a few slices of sausage while watching TV. Those moments bring familiarity and warmth. But there's a gentle truth I want you to remember. The things that bring us instant comfort can sometimes bring long-term fatigue. After 50, our bodies are no longer as flexible as before. The liver, kidneys, and heart, those silent workers, need more care. And some foods, if we don't pay attention, quietly damage our metabolism. The first is refined sugar. I'm not talking about the sweetness of fruits, but white sugar syrup, sodas, candies, and ice cream. They spike insulin, quickly turning excess energy into fat, especially belly fat. I once told a patient, your body doesn't need more sugar. It needs real energy from natural food. Just a month after cutting out sugary drinks, his weight and his blood pressure dropped significantly. The second enemy is saturated fat and reused frying oil. Fats from red meat, butter, and deep-fried foods clog arteries, raise bad cholesterol, and overwork the liver and heart. The danger is we don't feel it right away. But over time, arteries thicken, fatty liver develops, joints inflame, and memory fades. I used to call these foods short-term comfort with long-term cost. Then there are white starches and processed foods. White rice, white bread, instant noodles, sausages, and fast food. They've been stripped of fiber and vitamins, leaving only empty energy. Eating them often makes your blood sugar swing up and down, leaving you hungrier, more tired, and aging faster. One of my patients, Susan, once said, "Doctor, I can't stop eating potato chips. They're my joy." I smiled and said, "Then make them special. Enjoy them only when you truly celebrate, not every day." She did. 6 months later, she lost weight, and more importantly, she told me, "I no longer depend on food to feel happy." My friends, food is not the enemy, old habits are. When we change the way we choose, cook, and eat, we're not just feeding the body, we're healing the soul. Let every meal be a prayer of gratitude, not a negotiation between your mouth and your heart. My dear friends, I want you to imagine this. Your body, even after 50, 60, or 70 years of life, is still a miracle. It has never stopped working to protect you. Even when you eat poorly, sleep little, or stress too much, it keeps repairing, cleansing, and sustaining life. But to keep doing that, we must give it a chance. When you begin to eat right and practice intermittent fasting, something special happens. Your body enters a state called autophagy, the cell's self-cleaning mode. I often tell my patients, that's when your body starts tidying up its own house, sweeping away weak cells, regenerating new ones, renewing life itself. During the hours you don't eat, your body stops digesting and starts repairing. Liver cells recover. Brain cells flush out toxins. Organs begin to work more smoothly. And the miracle is, you feel lighter, clearer, and sleep deeper. I once had a patient named Helen, 65, who'd lived with prediabetes for 10 years. When I suggested fasting, she said, "Doctor, I'm old. What if I faint?" But she tried, step by step. 2 months later, her blood sugar stabilized. She lost nearly 11 pounds, and she told me, "Doctor, for the first time in years, I feel like my body isn't fighting me anymore." That sentence moved me deeply. Because yes, fasting isn't fighting your body, it's working with it. When you let your body rest, insulin drops, fat burns, inflammation calms, and even your nervous system finds peace. Blood pressure lowers, sleep deepens, memory sharpens. Not because of a miracle, but because balance is restored. Our bodies have wisdom of their own. They don't need us to command, only to listen. Every time you choose real food, every time you allow yourself to feel a little hunger, you're telling your body, "I trust you. I believe you're still strong enough to renew." And when you start to feel it, clearer skin, deeper sleep, lighter steps, you'll realize, health isn't a reward, it's the result of self-respect. My friends, your body has never abandoned you. Sometimes you just forget how to love it the right way. Today, begin again. Gently, one real meal, one slow morning, one evening without a late snack. Because in those simple moments, your body is learning to live again. Strong, steady, and full of life. My dear friends, by now I believe you understand health isn't just about weight, blood pressure, or sugar levels. Health is peace between body and mind. It's waking up feeling light, clear, and calm. It's no longer fearing the mirror, no longer panting up the stairs, but feeling deeply, I'm living right. I've met many patients who came to me not just with illness, but with fear. Fear that it's too late to change. Fear that age has stolen their chance to start over. But I always say, it's never too late to care for your body. The more love you give it, the more it gives back. Helen, that same woman, told me after 3 months, "Doctor, I'm no longer afraid of aging. I'm only afraid of not taking care of myself." That touched my heart, because that's why I do what I do. Not to cure disease, but to help people live meaningfully. My dear friends, after 50, we don't need to live fast anymore. We just need to live mindfully. To know when to eat, when to rest, when to smile and forgive ourselves. Let every meal be gratitude, every sleep be healing, and every new day be a chance to do something kind for your body, your only home. I want you to start today. You don't need to change everything. Just choose one thing. Need to rest a little slower. Drink one more glass of water, or let yourself be hungry for a while. Give your body a chance to cleanse and renew. Write it in the comments below. I'm starting today. It's not a promise to me, it's a commitment to yourself. Because every small action done long enough becomes a habit. And those habits, over time, build a strong body, a peaceful heart, and a lighter life. Thank you for walking this journey with me. If this video gave you even a bit of motivation, please click like, share it with loved ones, and subscribe. So every week we can keep learning how to live healthy, happy, and full of life. I'm Dr. David, and I believe health isn't a destination, it's a journey. And today you've taken your first step on that path.